Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on some of the invisible magic that makes the modern web feel, well, modern. It's a technique that powers pretty much everything you use, from social media to your email, so let's just dive right in.
To really get why this is so cool, we kind of have to go back in time a bit and remember just how frustrating the early internet could be. It all comes down to this one problem, the dreaded full-page reload, that constant jarring flash of a white screen for every single thing you did. So, picture this. Back in the day, every single little thing you did, liking a post, getting a new message, anything, forced the entire web page to just vanish. You'd get that blinding white screen, and then you'd have to wait for everything to slowly redraw itself from scratch. It was clunky, it was slow. Honestly, it was a terrible experience.
And this right here really shows you the night and day difference. On the left, you've got the old way. Any change? Bam, the whole page reloads. It's disruptive. On the right, you've got the Ajax way, a quiet little update to just the one piece that needs it. I mean, this single idea is what made the seamless web we know today even possible.
All right, so what is this amazing technique? What's the secret sauce that fixed one of the biggest headaches of the early web?
It's called Ajax, and that stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Now, don't worry too much about the XML part. It's that first word, asynchronous, that's the real hero here. It just means your browser can talk to a server in the background without freezing up everything you're looking at. Ajax isn't some brand new language. It's just a really clever technique to make that background chatter happen.
And for developers, oh man, this was a total game changer. Suddenly, they could build pages that could ask for new info after the page had already loaded, all happening silently, behind the scenes. This is the moment websites stopped feeling like static paper documents and started acting like real, living applications.
Okay, so how does this all work under the hood? Let's take a look at that basic little conversation, that handshake that happens between your browser and the server. This diagram pretty much sums it up. It's this simple, elegant loop. Something happens on your screen. You click a button. Your browser sends this tiny, lightweight request off to the server. The server does its thing, grabs only the data it needs, and sends a tiny response right back. Then, your browser uses that little piece of data to update just one spot on the page. No reload. It's brilliant.
We can break that whole flow down into 4 simple actions. First, an event on the page creates a special request. Second, that request gets sent out over the internet. Third, the server gets it, does its job, and sends a response back. And fourth, and this is the magic part, JavaScript uses that response to intelligently update the page without a full refresh.
Now, the real MVP in this whole operation is a special object that's built right into every browser. It's called the XML HTTPL object. The easiest way to think about it is like a little messenger, a dedicated courier that your web page sends out to run errands to the server and back.
So, how does your browser know when its little messenger is back and that the trip was a success? Well, it just checks on 2 things. It looks at the ready state to make sure the whole trip is finished, and it checks the status to make sure it got a 200 OK, which is basically the server giving a thumbs up. Once it sees both of those, the browser knows it's got good data to work with.
All right, enough theory. Let's see what this actually looks like in some simple code to see how all these pieces fit together.
So, to make this super clear, just picture a really simple web page. We've got a spot on the page we want to change, and we've got a button that's going to kick the whole thing off.
Okay, so the second you click that button, our JavaScript jumps into action. The very first thing it does, as you see here, is it creates our little messenger, that XML HTTP request object we've been talking about. It's getting it all ready for its mission.
Then, we got to give our messenger its marching orders. We tell it what to do, get some data, and where to get it from. Then, poof, we send it on its way to the server.
And the last piece of the puzzle is just waiting for our messenger to come back. The code basically hangs out and waits for those 2 all-clear signals we talked about. The second it gets them, it grabs the text the messenger brought back, finds the right spot on our page, and boom, slaps the new content right in there, instantly. No reload.
Okay, so that was a simple click. But what about something more dynamic? Like a live search, where the page is reacting while you're typing.
Right, so in this scenario, the trigger isn't just one click, it's every single time you press a key. With each keystroke, a brand new Ajax request, a new little messenger, gets sent out to the server carrying the letters you've typed so far.
The server gets that input, quickly looks for names that match, and sends back a list of suggestions.
The JavaScript on your page then shows those suggestions to you in real time. This is exactly how things like Google search suggestions work. It's just this super fast, rapid-fire Ajax loop happening over and over.
So, why are we getting into all this technical stuff? Why does it matter? Well, because this simple-sounding technique is the invisible engine that powers the entire modern web. Seriously, every dynamic, responsive site you love uses it.
Just think about it for a second. When you're scrolling around in Google Maps and new parts of the map just fade in seamlessly, that's Ajax. When a new email pops up in Gmail without you hitting refresh, that's Ajax. When you're scrolling on Facebook or YouTube and new videos just magically appear at the bottom, yep, you guessed it, that is all Ajax doing its thing.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Can you imagine if every single one of those little actions, every scroll, every new email, required a full, clunky page reload? The web would be unusable. Ajax is that invisible force that completely transformed the web from just a bunch of static documents into the incredible interactive applications that, let's be honest, we can't imagine living without today.